Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on. This is 2020 after all, so it is wonderful to be in your warm embrace, your presence, all of us connected via the internets. So forgive the informality, but let me just express great sense of gratitude to each and every one of you for making this moment possible, for all of your hard work to prioritize our workforce, our workers, our frontline essential workforce that we pay a lot of lip service to, but often we don't back up. And I think this package, these two bills we're signing today, a few of the bills we signed last week in relation to the trailer bill, really do justice to our collective cause. I think it was Aristotle said, you can't live a good life in an unjust society. And I think one of the things that we all recognize is we have to reconcile the realities of the disparities that persist, that were made even more raw, more real in this pandemic, and exposed those gaps in very pronounced and profound ways. And so I appreciate the one commonality of each and every one of you I see on this screen is your faith and devotion to that cause of minding those gaps, to closing those gaps, and addressing the issues of economic justice. And so I want to just thank all of you that are here. Assemblywoman, I'll introduce you in a moment. Senator, thank you as well. The two authors of these bills I'll be signing today, our team, Julie Sue. You'll hear from others that are on the front lines, people that will be directly benefiting from these two pieces of legislation. But no further ado, Assemblymember Reyes, let me in particular thank you for your leadership on this critically important component, and that's notification and advancing the rights of workers and providing more tools for Julie Sue and her team at Cal OSHA to advance the cause of enforcing the rules and regulations we put forth. And again, I can't press upon folks more my gratitude to you and your stewardship of this process and getting this bill to my desk where I will have the privilege in a moment to sign it. Assemblywoman.
Thank you so much. And first, I do want to thank you, Governor Newsom, for signing this vital legislation and for your commitment to protect workers in all sectors of the economy. I also want to thank our labor partners and the sponsors of this legislation, UFCW and the California Labor Federation, for their efforts to fight for worker protections. We know the stories emerged in the spring and the summer of this year, essential workers across the state of California becoming infected with COVID-19. And tragically, some of these infections led to death. From our farm workers to our childcare workers, from our food processors to our frontline grocery employees, from our correctional guards to the hospital staff, all infected, and some were preventable. Until today, existing state law did not require that employees be notified of COVID-19 exposures in the workplace, with tragic results. Often employees were not informed that the other employees had tested positive or that they had come in contact with someone who was positive. Workers in essential sectors were put in harm's way because they didn't receive information about other workers with COVID-19, nor were they provided with information on steps their employers were going to take to sanitize their work site and provide appropriate PPE to reduce the spread. During this stressful period, we've asked our workers to keep food on the table, food on the shelves, and ensure that other essential services were also provided and available to Californians. While many of us are working remotely, many workers did not have the option and had to show up for work each day in spite of the danger. AB 685 will change the level of protection for our workers. It will ensure that workers are informed when there has been a workplace exposure to COVID-19, as well as provide the state of California with the tools necessary to protect workers and get accurate data about outbreaks. The population of essential workers that are most at risk for exposure to COVID-19 are those that can least afford to get sick. With the signing of this bill, Governor, California leads the way in establishing common sense worker protections. Finally, I want to thank my legislative colleagues for supporting this bill, particularly the Legislative Latino Caucus, who identified this bill as a priority. And again, thank you, Governor Newsom, and your administration for working with us to protect our workers. I'd now like to invite Senator Hill to speak.
Thank you very much, Assemblymember Reyes, and thank you for your leadership. For the short time you've been in the legislature, you have done and accomplished an awful lot. So thank you for that. I just want to take us back, if I could, a few months. And it was in March when Governor Newsom, and Governor, we appreciate your leadership, your wisdom, and really your foresight. Because at that time, you protected our workers. You protected their medical care. You protected the benefits that they would receive through your emergency declaration at that time. And we all know that that declaration would end at some point, and it did. But the problem for our workers did not end at that time. And that's why, with your help, your support, your guidance, as well as our legislative colleagues, we needed to do something to protect those workers going forward. And we were able to work closely with our labor partners and our business partners to craft SB 1159. This legislation, I think, moves forward with an opportunity for the next few years to protect those workers, not just the first responders who are critical to what we're doing, critical in whether it's a firefighter, a police officer, an EMT, a doctor, or a nurse, but also to protect our workers, the essential workers who are providing the services that we need, the grocery clerks, everyone, the gas station attendants, everyone who is providing the benefits to our community and our society today, they need to be protected. This legislation, with your help, Governor, has done that. And so I appreciate that fact. And as you said, I think what we did is we focused on what was right and just, rather than what is popular and easy. And that's something that California always does. We always prioritize just and right rather than easy. So thank you, Governor, for your leadership. Thank you for signing this bill today. I appreciate it. And the workers of California are grateful as we move forward that they will be protected. They will have the health care that's needed, and they will get the benefits that will keep them and their families sustained for years to come. So thank you very much. Looking forward to it. And now I have the pleasure to introduce Julie Su, the Secretary of the California Labor and Workforce Development Agency. Under Secretary Su's leadership, the agency enforces workforce laws, oversees the 7 major departments, boards, panels, and that serve California's workers and businesses. Secretary Su.
Thank you so much, Senator Hill. We've known since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, protecting California's workers, which includes so many immigrant workers, workers of color, women, and those from vulnerable communities in our state, would be critical to public health, to our economic health, and ultimately to a safe reopening. It's also a matter, as the governor has stated, of doing what is right, doing what is just, and being humane. That's why the governor took action a few months ago by executive order, both for workers' compensation and for paid sick leave. And today the governor is signing a legislative package that codifies those provisions and also expands them. And we are grateful for your partnership, Senator, your partnership, Assembly Member, and together these bills give workers a choice and a voice. It lets them know when there's a potential exposure in the workplace. That includes not just employees, but also the employees' representatives and their subcontractors' employees, so that workers can choose to stay home, to get tested, to protect themselves and their families, and to follow other health guidelines about quarantining. It also lets them know about their COVID-19 related benefits, such as their entitlement to leave, workers' compensation, and anti-retaliation protections. If workers don't know they have rights, they won't know to request them, and if they're not protected from retaliation, they may be too scared to assert them. By the way, it also requires that employers inform local public health officials about COVID-19 in the workplace, which helps us at a broader level to effectively fight the spread. The workers' compensation presumption means that there's a presumption of eligibility for workers' compensation, so workers who get injured on the job can stay home and recover without fear of losing their wages. And again, that both reduces the spread in the workplace and in the community. And it includes first responders, healthcare workers, and the bill recognizes that there are some additional industries that have a high risk of infection. This also incentivizes employers to take more care to prevent injuries in the first place. So what's important here is that our job doesn't end with signing. As the governor repeatedly says, enforcement is critical to turning laws into reality. And so these bills also allow Cal OSHA to move in a more expedited fashion to address serious violations and to prevent an imminent hazard to employees of being exposed to COVID-19. And we have also put in place measures to ensure that we can hit the ground running with enforcement. In fact, our Division of Workers' Compensation has been holding hearings by telephone or video during the crisis. Our recovery depends on our effectively controlling this virus, and these bills help us to do that. So under the leadership of the governor, we are also making sure that employers and employees know their rights and responsibilities with a statewide outreach campaign targeted to vulnerable communities and the most effective areas. And we're going to be collaborating with trusted messengers. We're going to be doing this in multiple languages. So these bills really recognize, and the pandemic has really driven home that worker safety is public safety. It is now my honor to introduce Sharon Heckler. She is one of these essential frontline workers. She has been working for 47 years as a grocery clerk, serving Californians, making life better. And she's a proud UFCW member. And on behalf of the governor, we're just so happy that you're here with us, Sharon, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak and everybody's hard work. Thank you, Governor Newsom.
Thanks, Sharon.
Anyways, yes, I have been a grocery worker for 47 years for Albertsons in the San Gabriel Valley, currently in Arcadia. And this pandemic has affected us, all essential workers, in extreme ways. The stress, we're just trying to stay alive. I thought the worst thing that I'd ever been through in my career was the 2003 and 2004 grocery industry strike, but no, this is much more difficult. We are just praying every day that we get through this. I mean, this brings out the worst and the best in people, and we are just dealing with a lot. So we really thank you for this bill, because we feel like a lot of our, there's been a lot of information that's been hidden from us. So this bill will ensure that workers like myself and all my coworkers will be able to get more information to help reduce the spread of COVID-19. So please, Governor, sign this bill for all essential workers. And thank you for your help.
Sweet.
Thank you. I'm passing it on.
Sweet of you. Thank you. Who's up next? Is Monique up?
Yes. Hi,
Oh,
Governor.
there you are.
Hi. How are you?
Thank you.
I want to say thank you. I'm really happy to be here today and celebrate this signing of this crucial bill to protect me and my colleagues, and all healthcare workers and first responders of California. My name is Monique. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 11 years. This bill is so important to all of us. I can't. So in the beginning of this, we were the ones taking your social distance order the most serious. We were the ones still going to work, caring for strangers because it's what we do. It is our calling. It is my calling. I am so sorry. Back in the end of March, I'm assigned, I work on what's called a clean unit. I refuse to call it a clean unit. There's no such thing as a clean unit when it comes to COVID-19. There is COVID and there's non-COVID. 9 of my nurses got sick and I was assigned to my clean unit. I'm a charge nurse. I took that very personal. There's one thing, being a charge nurse and taking accountability for your floor and being Latin at the same time. You don't come after my family. So I see those nurses as my family. I've spent holidays with them. I spent birthdays with them. So when 9 of them got COVID-19, and more so since, I took it personal and I took it to the streets. we did a silent protest on April 22nd. My friend Eric, who you've met, spent 3 months in a trailer, missed his son Oliver, who I love, Oliver's birthday, his 5th birthday. He spent a window between them. This bill will help us exponentially. Like, I want to thank you personally, for your early, I want to thank you for your early social distance order. That was huge. That was huge for me. And I also want to thank you, sir, for your continued advocacy for our community to wear masks. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for taking to your social media platforms. I know I'm going off from what they want to say, but that's important to me. I want to thank you for that, because I will continue to share those to my platform. I will continue, and the rest of us that see your great leadership and see that what you are doing and how we can use those platforms for the better. So I want to thank you, sir, for that. I want to turn this over to you, and I want to thank you once again for signing this bill.
That's awesome. Sweet of you, Monique. Thank you. And thank you. And both of you, Monique, Sharon, thanks for putting all this in perspective and putting the human face on this. And I know the Assemblywoman and the Senator, we get caught up in A, B, S, B, this, that, and markups, this, and trailer bills, and no one understands any of this stuff, and the distillation of the essence of what this means on a personal level is why we do this, and why we are all so blessed to hear from you, and thank you, more importantly, for your leadership, for your advocacy, for the work you do every single day, and for guiding all of us, and Sharon, 47 years. My gosh, what an extraordinary career, and what a testament to your extraordinary, your energy, your capacity, and to be here with us. That's very, very special to sort of punctuate the journey you've been on, and the work that you're doing and your advocacy. And so again, thank you to the Assemblywoman and Senator. You're a poster child for why we need to get rid of term limits. And I couldn't be more blessed by your leadership and across the spectrum on so many issues. And you are the official winner of the best backdrop on this Zoom call as well. I just want to establish and say the obvious, because most of us are thinking of it. By the way, the other best backdrop is Eric. The little one is back. Where are you, Eric? SCIU always brings, where's the little, back to our homeschooling. I don't know where you are. There you are.
Hi, babe.
Where is he? Where are they?
Yeah, say hi to Governor Newsom.
Good to see you again. How are you?
Good.
Everything good? You still happy? You're still learning?
Yes.
Good. All right. For other folks, we've done a few of these, and who needs in-person instruction when you get this kind of education from Dad? So, well done, Eric, and thanks for all your work. I see Doug Moore there. Thank you, Doug, for everything. I could go on. I'm going to be remiss. Michael, everybody, thank you for all your good work. Denise, we're really grateful. And I want to just thank Angie Way in particular for her hard work and stewardship on this, and her commitment to make sure we got this thing done, and working so closely and collaboratively with both Assemblywoman and the Senator. And thank you to Ann O'Leary, who's here as well, who worked hard on this package, and Priscilla. Thank you. All of you, we're really grateful. And I just want to build just briefly in closing before we sign these two pieces of legislation on what Julie Sue was saying. The Know Your Rights efforts is really important. It's one thing, Julie made this point, program passing, I say this often, program passing is not problem solving unless you pass a program where people are aware of their rights and they know their rights, and we can enforce these laws and these regulations. And so one of the critical components that was part of the larger package that is essential in terms of protecting our essential workers was the work the Assemblywoman did and the Senator did in getting a trailer bill where we're providing $62.5 million of a public awareness campaign, so workers can know what they well, fundamentally know what the rules and regulations are so that they can raise their voice and they can exercise their voice and have the support that they deserve. And so that was a critical component. We signed that last week. Another critical component, the more broad bill, is trying to deal with that loophole in the federal regulations as it relates to 80 hours of paid sick leave for larger employers. And we were able to get that done as well because of the leadership of the senator and the assemblywoman. And so I want to thank you both for all that work you did as well to get those bills down here as part of a larger package of essential worker protections that are part of the spirit that brings all of us here today. And I think part of the leadership that is demonstrable here in the state of California. So no further ado. I feel like this may be a wedding unless there are any objections. Seeing none, we will close public comment and now move to signing virtually Assembly Bill 685. Let me see how I can do this as effectively as I possibly can. Now law in the state of California. Thank you all for that. And Senate Bill 1159. Jerry, is that the right one? We got it. All right.
That's the right one, Governor. Perfect.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Governor.
We appreciate all of you. And again, keep up the great work. And
Thank you, Governor.
all of the advocates there. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Governor Newsom.
Thank
Thumbs
you,
up.
Governor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
An honor.
Thank you,
Get this
Governor.
done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.